name is Maddie Dabrowski from St. Thomas the Apostle Catholic Church, and today I want to tell you a very special story about a girl who was almost the same age as you when something very incredible happened to her. Let's listen to the story. Once there was a little girl who was born to a family that loved God very much. The little girl's name was Imelda. Her parents were very rich and very devout. Devout means that they loved Jesus and the Catholic Church very much. They wanted their daughter, Imelda, to love Jesus too, so they taught her how to pray when she was very young. They also taught her to love the poor, and Imelda would often help her mom serve the poor, giving them food and other things that they needed. Imelda and her family would go to Mass during the week very often at a church nearby that was run by Dominican priests. Because Imelda spent so much time learning to pray and being around Jesus in the Eucharist, she learned to love Jesus so much. She loved to pray and would spend a lot of time talking to Jesus. Imelda's mother and father thought that Imelda was the best little girl in the whole world, and so they would give her many presents on her birthday because they loved her so much. But even though Imelda was very happy and said thank you for all of these presents, there was one thing that she still wanted, and she wanted it more than anything in the world. Little Imelda wanted to receive Jesus in the Eucharist. One time she said, "Tell me, can anyone receive Jesus into her heart and not die of joy?" However, at that time, children were not allowed to receive the Eucharist until they were 14 years old, and Imelda was not 14 yet, so she would have to wait many years to receive the Eucharist. But she prayed every day, asking Jesus to let her receive him in the Eucharist before she turned 14. She felt that she could not wait that long. Imelda trusted in Jesus that he would help her and answer her prayer. When she was only 9 years old, Imelda became a nun. Can you imagine someone becoming a nun at 9 years old? She was so young, but she loved Jesus more than anything. She knew that nuns were married to Jesus and that nothing would make her happier than to be Jesus's bride. So with her parents' permission, she entered the monastery and became a nun. Imelda thought, now that I am a nun, I will be able to receive Jesus in the Eucharist. But the priest and the Mother Superior told her that she would still have to wait until she was 14. They thought she was too young to really understand the Eucharist. Imelda's favorite saint was St. Agnes because St. Agnes loved Jesus enough to die for him, even though she was only a little girl. Imelda became friends with St. Agnes by talking to her in her heart, and she called St. Agnes and the other saints her secret friends. One day, on the Feast of the Ascension, Imelda was kneeling in Mass, watching the other nuns go up and receive the Eucharist. She thought that Mother Superior and the priest would finally tell her that she could go up and receive Jesus too, but they did not even look at her, and the Mass continued. Imelda was very sad, but she prayed in her heart, asking Jesus to please come to her and let her receive him, even though the priest wouldn't. She stayed in prayer like this for a very long time, until the Eucharist suddenly came by itself out of the tabernacle and floated in the air above Imelda's head as she was kneeling and praying. The other nuns and the priest saw this, and they knew that Jesus wanted Imelda to receive him in the Eucharist. So the priest gave Imelda her first Holy Communion. She was still only 9 years old. When she received the Eucharist, she was so happy that she did not move for a very long time. She knew that Jesus was inside of her heart. She was so happy that her heart went straight to Jesus in heaven. And when the other nuns came back, they found that Imelda had died of joy because she had finally received Jesus. Jesus went to Imelda so that he could bring Imelda to himself in heaven. This is a real story. Right now, Imelda is living with Jesus in heaven, and it is her special job to pray for all kids who are receiving their first Holy Communion. She is the patron saint of first communicants. Just like Blessed Imelda talked to her secret friends in heaven, the saints, you can talk to Blessed Imelda in your heart. You can ask her to help you love Jesus in the Eucharist just like she did. And you can ask her to help you make your heart ready for your first Holy Communion.